for me, I look at character to be the basis of any young leader or emerging leader from the past, the present, and the future. Character is very important into molding and becoming an active player in society. Because we all neglect. Everybody is passionate, like you said. We breathe into ourselves a lot of consciousness and unconsciousness when it has to do with the things that we find ourselves doing in society. But one of the things that streamlines and distinguishes us from others is character. Let's look at the character of God. God says he changeth not, that from generation to generation he remains the same. It means that he's faithful in little, he'll be faithful in much. Now, one of the disadvantages of independence or growth amongst young people is a kind of character. What you associate yourself with is very important. The value that you possess, the track record, what you're known for. So character is that ability to stimulate you, that ability to keep yourself doing what is good, what is compassionate, what you're known for. If you're known for negativity, you always produce or give back negativity. If you're known for positivity, you always give back. But there's a lot of consistency that builds you. It means that it's not about the today, it's not about the now, it's not about what you aspire for. It's about how you're able to navigate through life, having your character in check, having your pedigree in check, having yourself, your true self, your true essence is what character is all about. What you're known for. But there's must be negativity and positivity. But I'm looking at who are you as a person? Who brings God to level? What are your track records? How can people describe you? And people don't describe you because of your quality of education. People describe you based on your person, your characteristics. What is that thing that is evolving about your person? What can people say about you? And people don't build character by association based on eloquence, based on motivation. No, people build character based on time and season. People build character based on experiences over time. It means that sometimes you ignore yourself, you let go of the immediate. Sacrifice is one of those propelling factors that grooms character. Creating your seasons, creating your time, understanding your moments. It means that you're not selfish. You're not thinking about personal interest. It's about the collective good of the environment. So in characteristics of people, we talk about there are different keynotes or different attributes that maintains and builds character. But what I'm looking at today is your true essence. We are all here on earth for a purpose. Okay, for example, let's look at me. I'd been informed before today about this meeting. Fantastic. Created time for this meeting. Fantastic. But in the midst of the fact that things happened and I had to give meaning and time to other things, I've turned my back because I know the importance of this meeting. And I don't mind being in the car, creating that time for sacrifice. I don't mind keeping to my timing, ensuring that I have to dedicate this moment. So people will not ever look at you by the life you live. They want to understand that you did not just live the life, but there was a meaning to that life. You took all orders. You took all, you made sure you put in all consideration to ensure that you do not lose guard on your true essence. It means that you must give, like what they will say, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and to God what belongs to God. So in life, it's not about your personal desires, it's about your sacrifice. Character is more about sacrifice, because most times we do not inculcate the values that we have, because that's what we want at that point in time. We inculcate it because it is a standard procedure that we need if we must be able to navigate through success. The character is the ability of a man to understand his true essence in life, to be able to put capacity, to be able to put virtue, to be able to look at the sacrifices they put to the table, to be able to look at the collective effort of every other person, to be a bridge builder to others, to be a hope to the people, to forget your personal self, but the ability to put in the people and society in sequence or in motion to the decisions you take in or what you do today. So for me, character is very important for every young emerging leader. I'm someone who believes my procedures in life. What's that burning desire that I carry? And like I always say, my greatest mentor is God. He says remains the same from generation to generation. It means that his faithfulness today is the God that walked upon the sea, still the God that feeds, It's a God that's given me life much more abundantly. So if God can forget about who we are, forget about our selfishness, but will always be God over us, it means that no matter what you do, God is God. So it means that Prince Godfrey Edward should be known as Prince Godfrey Edward. I should be evaluated by my past, my present, and future. And putting them together, there should be some level of truth showing that I've been the same. So the true character of a man is the best way to define any man. Because if you're who you are, you're supposed to carry that characteristics. Because it takes time to switch. If you've been negative, it takes procedures and time for you to switch to positivity. So for you to know a man, first of all, look at his character. What is faithful at today will be what will be faithful at tomorrow. So if a man switches from negativity, from a negative character to a positive character, it means that there's a sequence of time, motion, sacrifice put together for him to redefine his true essence. So character is the essence of a man, the reality and the truism of a man's capacity in life. Because it's difficult for you to switch in 1 day, 2 days. It takes a lot for you to become a different person. Else you're the same person. So there's a lot of things to put into consideration to define a man's character. And it's difficult for you, if you're defining a man's character, to find a difference in that man. Because a lot will be put in place for people to switch from negative character to positive character, from who they are today to who they will be tomorrow. Because I think that the true identity of a man doesn't change in time, doesn't change easily. So a character of a man is the true identity of a man. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Thank you very much, Prince Evan. That was a loud one. The character of the man, a man, is the true identity of a man. I mean, this is incredible. So, what would you say concerning the character that was displayed, and what do you think should have been the right approach in terms of character that was, being put up?
Yeah, thanks for the question, Tito. And thanks, my brother Prince, for dissecting, that character, trying to define character, and everything you said was quite true about, the definition of character. And we can borrow from the famous Martin Luther King's speech. He said, at some part of that speech, he made mention that he would rather be defined by the content of his character rather than by race, all the stuff. So it shows how much character means to a people. So rather than define a man, oh, okay, you're an American, that means you're a good guy. Or, because you're from America, that means you're a powerful citizen of the world. No, it doesn't really make you. Who are you? Who are you? Forget about the collection of people called America. So we shouldn't, when I'm dealing with an American, I shouldn't deal with him as an American. I should deal with him based on who he is, based on the content of his character, based on how he has displayed himself. Not because, the American president as at the time is fighting Islam, and maybe the guy is, and maybe I'm a Muslim and I'm having a transaction with him, we should start having issues because of our religion. No. So the character of a man is the content of the man. Do you have content? And a lot of people don't have content these days. I would try to sync that with social media, because we are a social media generation, especially the ones that are after us. They say they're Generation Z, so they deal more on online stuff, and stuff like that. Now, what we find on social media most times, in our world today, it's a pity, because that's not the reality of things. People put up something, and online for people to see, and the real self behind the scene, they're a completely different person. And it's appalling, especially in Nigeria. We find that a lot. We find that a lot of people live fake life, portray fake riches, portray a lot of fake things, just because they want to impress the society. And just like you rightly mentioned, bringing it to the protest, the End Sars protest, So a lot of people joined that protest because they saw something was going on online, a hashtag, came up, and everybody was doing the hashtag. Everybody wants to join because and people shouldn't have engaged in the End Sars protest because it was a trend. They should have engaged in the End Sars protest because they want good governance, because they actually want police brutality to end. And if anyone had gone into the protest with those two primary motives in mind, then you're on the right track. Because police brutality is it's a content of a particular set of people's character. Brutality. So I think that protest really defined what the youth stands for, and it was a good thing. It's something I support, especially for those who knew what they were going out to protest for, which brutality, social vices, molestation, extortion, and all of that. Those are bad characters, and they were in their rights to fight against against such.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Wow. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Mem. That was an awesome one. I was actually part of the, protesting. I protested not just for the End Sars, but for an improvement, in our economy, because a whole lot has been going on. Okay, I moved in with a Reverend Father, to also be a voice, to put a stop to different things. But at the end of the day, it was as if this voice didn't go, our voices didn't go far, really, because after it all, it's like everything just went back to normal. It's like everything just went back to normal. Now, most of the young people feel disappointed. Most of the young people feel, like giving up. Most of the young people also dwell and also depend totally on the government. So I think I'm going to direct this question to Prince Seven. If I may ask, or what do you think about young people totally depending on government?
I think I understand, and I thank you for this question. Very important. The problem why we are where we are today as a society or a country or a government or a people, people with the wrong mindset. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, very well, loud and clear.
People with the wrong character and the wrong mindset are ruling me and you today. You see, when the head that is a leader leads, even the tail will follow. The problem is that we have people who are not selfless, who don't have the characteristics of selflessness, people who are not compassionate, people who don't have the character of God or don't have the fear of God, people who do not believe in the common man. Leadership with character is determined by those who are there to serve, their service is character. The character of a true leader is, what is my contribution? What is your contribution? What's your sacrifice to national development or to nation building? You're not in government to take. You're in government first to offer your ideas, your personality, your intellectual property, your perception, your views. You're there to serve, to offer something, to be a solution architect, not to take. Why our country is the way, like I always say, the most deficient issue in Africa and Nigeria is that we have leaders who are not selfless. We have leaders who think about their personal interest, not collective good. A good leader has the character of the people. The character has the character to bring change, the character to offer solution, has the mindset to be innovative. You're thinking about being sacrificial. Like what I'm telling you, a strong example of a man with character is a selfless man who is always contributory in nature. We have to begin to play politics that everybody should know that they have a stake. The hoodlums or the youths or whatever you want to call them that have destroyed lives and goods and say, yes, you're angry. Most of them are angry because of where the country has been over time. I do not agree with them. But let's look at the essence of their anger. When you're done looking at that, are they wrong? They might be wrong, they might be right. But above all, they are destroying the heritage of our people. Our leaders have failed us, yes, but they've left something for us. How do you harmonize on it? What are you building? What's that value you're adding to what the country or the leaders in the past have left for me and you? How do you make it a better place? When everybody sees themselves as stakeholders and that they have something to offer Nigeria, whether you're in public office or you're not in public office, whether you're an entrepreneur, an economist, whether you're holding any sensitive position or whether you're a self-made millionaire or billionaire, whatever it is, as long as you're a citizen of Nigeria, patriotism is character. Your character for the people and your patriotic nature should be about what can I offer Nigeria? Nigeria has given me a heritage. Society has given me an opportunity to call myself one. What am I doing to contribute my own quarter to national development? A man with character will think about your role towards enhancing positive change, not just for you. Even if you have nothing to benefit, your greatest benefit should be that you are able to give to others. You're able to offer your expertise. You're able to offer your love. You're able to offer your attitude, your opportunities for others to take. Leverage on. So a man with character thinks about his contribution to society. And each and every one of us, whether there's crisis or not, we know there are crises. What are you doing that is different? A man with character is distinguished. He thinks about his distinguished nature. It means that your character is said, by their fruits you shall know them. A man with the right character and the right fruit will be known by the content of his character. It means that people should look at you and take refuge, take pride to associate with your person. Character is being a pace setter. Character is being a change agent. Character is offering service to humanity. Character is less of you and more of the people. Being selfless. Is your attitude selfless enough? Are you thinking about you? Now, character is sacrifice. You cannot always take. What am I losing for others to take? Character is about offering service to humanity. And I feel that it doesn't matter whether you're in government or not. Yes, everybody wants their road tarred. Are you forgetting that there are people who buy your products, customers who consume your products that makes you a successful entrepreneur? What are you offering back to the people? Are you thinking about just taking their money and making them as an entrepreneur? Or you're thinking about offering solution? Are you complementing government? Like I always say, provides the enabling environment. One of the difference between other societies and Nigeria is that those in the private sector are not just looking at paying taxes, but they've taken, if society has placed a demand on you as a leader, by offering you some level of right in society to have followers and people who look up to you. It means that I say the expectations of the righteous will not be cut short. It means that those who look up to you, their expectations of you should never be cut short. You should make yourself available to augment and complement government and institutions. Society where society have failed to make themselves a reference point. It means that when you have character, your sacrifices augments a place of people where you begin to look at yourself as an environment or an institution that complements government or society, that you become a reference point. Character is sacrificial. Character is about the needs of the people. It doesn't mean that you must always give out what people want. But if you're in a place of opportunity, you're opportune to make yourself a leverage point for others. You're a hope to the hopeless. So a man of character looks about how to be a solution, how to offer solution, how to look at complementing, how to look at offering solution. Character does not make you disposed to yourself. Character makes your disposition open to others because you think about the well-being of everybody. And it's not like I tell people, power is seen. Power is felt. Power is not seen. So if you're someone that wants to know a true character of a man, if you don't judge the man because he drives 20 cars, no, you look beyond that. You judge a man by what you feel about the man, what you know about the man. Knowledge is character. What is that person? The man can drive the biggest cars in the world, but he's vague. He has nothing to offer. So don't expect him to offer something when he has nothing to offer. Don't look at what you see in him and expect him to offer something. People can choose to be who they are not. You look beyond a man. That's why you look at the true identity of a man. People can change an identity, but the true identity of a man can never be changed by anything. So when we look at these questions, yes, you want governance, or you're a governance, or you're a politician, or you have positions. Every one of us, from a pastor to a gate man, if you're a man of character, whether you're not subjected by your place in society, but your objective is about what you contribute to society, not being restricted by your place in society. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. We have a place. We have something to offer society. A man of character is about his service. What is he offering? It doesn't matter if Mr. A has more than you. Mr. A should depend on your knowledge, should depend on your exposure, should depend on your characteristics to inform himself and become a solution architect. Should look at your characteristics and copy something that is valuable. Character is value. The value of a man is the character of that man. And value is not by what you see. Value is by what you feel, what you take in, what you respect in people. That's why you go to some communities and you don't know why your father prefers to go and sit with the headmaster and forgets to sit with the local government chairman. It means that there's something that he takes from that man. Over time, character is consistency, being known for who you are. He said, you change it not one generation to another. Your character has not changed you. When you're a millionaire, you're the same. When you're a billionaire, you're the same. When you have food to eat, you're the same. You don't have food to eat, you're still the same. The content of a man, it means that the origin of that man is character. You do not, whether you have or do not have, does not change you. Your disposition to life is centered on your accuracy, centered on your originality. And every young person coming up, people follow, like you talked about in the End Sars. Yes, it's a good intention. We all have suffered it one way or the other. But a lot of people follow celebrities. And when people were dying in that place, how many celebrities were there apart from DJ Switch? You don't support people because of who they are today. You support them because of who they've always been and who you know them to be in the next 20 years. You don't follow people because of their disposition alone. You follow them because of their originality. So we must always look at society different from what society offers me and you. I'm proud to be a Nigerian. It doesn't matter if we have light or no light. I should be that change that Nigeria needs, that agent that Nigeria needs to be a better Nigeria. So you alone, with your strong will and character, you can make a difference. Let's stop putting blames. Our forefathers complained about infrastructure, complained about education. Are we going to join the parade of people who complain? What is our contribution? If every one of us are thinking about how we can collectively throw little stones that we can build a mountain of hope that all of us can climb and be proud of Nigeria, then that's character. Your characteristics defines you. Character of a man doesn't, what is definition? You know, you're not defined by who you're not. You're defined by who you are and who you become. It's futuristic, the past, the present, and the future. Character of a man should be known that you cannot swim. People should trust you. Trust your ability because they know in primary school, this is who they know you to be. The man that smiles, that gives bread to people, that shares his snacks with people. In secondary school, he was the man that could teach his classmates what he knew, could offer his own little sacrifice. In university, you should be known for the same man that does. If you look at all of these characteristics, you're the same person. It means that you're being compassionate. You've always thought about your role in adding value, in assisting others. So when you're a governor, you will not change. When you hear your name, when they hear MM, you will smile and say, I know MM to be a nice man. That's his character. You can't change MM. Give MM 2 billion is MM. Take every money from his hand, it's still MM. You will know him that if he cannot give you money today, he will offer a smile of hope. It means that he does not want to know his present situation. What drives him is what he offers you, and he finds joy. That is character. Being consistent, I should check you 20 years after. Have you changed? So we shouldn't just follow people because today is a governor. No. Has he been a governor before he was born? Has he governed the affairs of his life? Has he governed the affairs of his society? Has he ever presided over his circumstances? Has he been a strong voice and hope to people? We look for people to rule us by what they show us, not by the content of their character. So when they go there and fail, we begin to blame them. Check their track records. If a man is faithful in little, be faithful in much, that's character. The faithfulness of a man is character, not the present faithfulness. What's the track record of that man? So in governance and young people want to go into government, vote for people, support people, make yourself, tell yourself that I do not care if he gives me 1,000 naira or not, but I'm supporting this candidacy because I believe that few years to come, this candidacy can give hope of roads to the people, hope of education to the people. Is you now judging people by their character, not by how they present themselves to you. Thank you.
Wow, 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 wow. That was a deep one. Prince Evan, oh, Mr. Gosfield Edward. Prince Gosfield Edward, sorry, we're so used to the Prince Evan. I mean, for those who don't know him, you've heard Prince Evan, popularly known as Prince Evan, but the name is Prince Gosfield Edward. He has taken us really deep into character. Now, someone asked a question. A question came forward from Christian Jeremiah. With the emergence of the End Sars protest, what character is best to have been displayed as a form of protest that can be achievable in Nigeria? What character is best to have been displayed? Okay, before we look into that question, Mr. Neb, now from your angle, I don't know if you've gone into politics. I don't know if I don't know. I can't really. But I know you as a businessman, as an entrepreneur, and
no politics, man.
No politics. Okay, okay.
I'll leave that to Prince.
Question.
Prince is very good at that, so I'll leave that to him.
Let me answer that question.
Okay.
Trust me. The whole End Sars protest, fantastic, well articulated. But they should have understood that this is not the first time there's been a protest in Nigeria. That's why you must always look at the past, the present, and the future. You must always understand the character of the people. The people have not changed. Those ruling me and you today ruled our father. You do not engage in the protest without knowing who these people are and what to expect. So you should be a step ahead of them. You should be looking at these issues have been there before me and you were born. Our fathers faced these issues, the same people. So the character of the people has not changed. That is happening in 2020 does not mean it did not happen in 1985 or 1984. Do you get what I'm saying? That there was technology. Listen, the truth is this: when you are coming out to face a people that have character, look at their disposition. Understand their disposition, that it never changes. It is not easy to change a bull or change the color of a chameleon. And if you cannot change the color of a chameleon, you must always know how to find solution, because there must be something to expect from that attitude. That character will offer you something. The mistakes they made was they never planned ahead to understand that, yes, we knew it would happen, but we saw it. We thought, they don't change. You plot when you want to go on a protest. It's beyond standing on the road. It's about building policies to counter, preparing for the attitude that the people will bring, or the character and the disposition that will come to be. You must prepare ahead of it, and because we know that they will do it. Let me tell you, till you change these people and bring people, leaders with the fear of leaders that have the right character to face Nigerian democracy. The people that you bring, they know the language. They will always bring the language they are used to. So you must always prepare yourself for that attitude, that character. Not just going blindly and thinking that they have changed. Character does not change. It takes a lot for the attitude of a man, the originality of a man to change. Jesus Christ came. See, if I am a governor today, you're not going to remove my blood and give me the blood of a governor. I am still Prince Gosfield Edward that you knew in my primary days in school. I am still Prince Gosfield Edward that some of you knew as a dancer. How I was able to dance through my dance steps and create value in dancing is how I'll be able to dance through the situations of life and create solution to circumstances. It doesn't change. You don't take the man that had dreadlock or that braided his hair because you give him a position, you think you switch him to another. He's still his real self. You don't change. When you were doing business in thousands, did they have to flush your blood and put you in blood of a millionaire? You're still the same How faithful you were is how faithful you'll be. It's who you are. So your track record should be how to assess you. Your true self should be how to assess you. That you were a military president and you became a civilian president doesn't change. That in the 80s you used to smile does not mean you will not smile in the 50s or in the 20s. Do you get what I'm saying? So we need to understand that whatever we are faced today, our forefathers were faced with it. Where were those areas that they made mistakes? How do we complement those mistakes and make success? Our generation must begin to think. And don't forget, the people that are ruling me and you today did not just get power. They took power from their fathers, from our forefathers, and they've held the power. So any move you want to make, they are more expert in those moves than me and you.
Wow, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Prince Seven. Wow.
Okay, just to add to what Prince Seven just said, you know.
Okay.
When you're talking, the person who asked the question talked about the character the protesters were supposed to display, you know, to probably make an impact or something. You know, I feel, you know, protest is really not about going out on the street to carry placards, to make music, you know, to block the roads, you know, to cause to obstruct public flow of traffic and all of that stuff. For me, I feel protest, you can have a very effective protest in being a good person in the midst of bad people. I'll give a typical example. When I started business in 2017, you know, 2016 to 2017, I had a situation where I didn't really know much people in government. So what I do is maybe when someone gets a contract, I cannot execute it, I buy off the contract, you know, and I execute it. But I discovered over time that, you know, I'm not helping the system, because I find out that these same people, I did the project, but the next year, 2018, when they're awarding the contract, they still award the contract to the same people who don't have the capacity to execute, who will still bring it to the street to sell to me, who have the capacity to execute. So I said to myself, I'm not going to go and fight any civil servant. I'm not going to petition anybody. I'm not going to do all of that. I said, I'm going to stop buying contracts from the incompetent people. Let the people who are jointly doing this, jointly engaging in this corrupt practices with them, let them stop. Because when they don't find the market, they will stop. So all I did was, since the beginning of this year, I said, I'm not buying any contract from anybody who brings a contract from a government establishment in the name of buy this contract and execute. That was a way of me protesting against that method of doing business. I didn't really necessarily need to go to civil servants and start carry placards in front of government establishment and say, oh no, there are corrupt practices in the procurement process and all of that. But I, in my own little way, I have stopped supporting their corruption. Do you understand? So what the youths are supposed to do, or what I will encourage the youths to do, is to systematically put these people away. If, as we've rightly observed, what was obtainable in governance in 1983, 1984, in the military regime and early democracy, it's not the same thing. You know, our democracy has evolved over time. There are certain things people used to do and get away with them, but it's because people have been, and it wasn't every time people had to go out on the streets to get change done. Because people, maybe, for instance, I could also decide to go the way of maybe by protest and say, okay, maybe write petition against a certain policeman who had brutalized me or who had done something, and I make sure I follow it up to the end and get justice. Yes, in Nigeria, you can say, oh, it's a long process and all of that, but you will still get justice if you're consistent and you do it legally. You cannot, two wrongs can never make a right. I cannot, because a police brutalize me or my sister or my brother, and then I go to the police station and I burn down the police station. Those are two wrongs.
Very wrong.
I would have, the moment I go there and I burn down the police station, I have lost every moral justification to take that establishment to court. You know, all I need to do is,
you're not different from those who are glamoring
who brutalize you. Yeah, you know, so what the youths are supposed to do. Now, I challenge the youths. You get into a business with a youth today, the youth will swindle you. Where is the character? You support a youth into government. We've had a couple of youths. We had Dimeji Bankole as a speaker at some point. What did he do? What was his effect? One of the youngest governors of all time, the Kogi State governor, what is he doing? What is his effect in our democracy today? You can see how we displayed in the 2019 election, 2020 election that was concluded in Kogi State. So it's not about the youths coming out to say, oh, no, it's time for us to take over power. It's time for us to take over power. Are you power worthy? Is your character that, or have you displayed leadership qualities? For instance, in a family, when you start displaying leadership qualities, you don't have to come and fight your father for him to step aside. He will step aside for you. When you display the right leadership qualities. Let's forget about the fact that we are 200 million people in Nigeria. The subsets that makes up Nigeria are the families. How are you leading your family as a youth? How are you leading your business? The same youths that go about, carrying placards and saying, oh, no to police brutality, no to police. Some of them have housemates in their houses. They are brutalizing every day. Some of them have people working with them, have workers in their offices. They're not paying salary, at the end of the month. Meanwhile, they are spending the same money on frivolities. A lot of the youths have drivers they're not treating finely. They have their security personnel in their houses who are sick and they allow them to die, and they're spending money on frivolities, things that doesn't matter. How do you now want the youths, the older generation, to step aside for you? You're not displaying what the leadership qualities that they desire.
Compassion.
When you see right, you know right. When you see wrong, you know wrong. These guys that are doing this evil that we are crying about, they know that what they're doing is evil. But we are not countering them with good. We are supporting the evil that they're doing. We are following the evil that they're doing because of our character, because of the character that we display. How many youths have organizations that they are running that are corruption free, that are treating their staffs properly, proper salaries, structure, making sure that they have a conducive working environment? What compassion do you even show to your fellow human being, your neighbor? I pity Nigerians when I see them display wealth on social media, because someone once said something. We are not, no matter how, even the richest guy in Africa, Dangote, the richest man in Nigeria, he is not 2 generations away from poverty. We have 4 people in our families. Why are you going on social media to display wealth that is nothing? When you have family members that are dying, that are helpless, that are hopeless, that have been dehumanized by government, have you shown a different character from the leaders you are protesting against? No. We have to start from ourselves first. Display leadership qualities. Engage in a business transaction with your fellow youths and come out clean and close the deal. And let's know that we did a good business, and let's shake hands and say it was nice doing business with you. How many people can say that about our youths? In school, we are the ones helping the lecturers, inciting them with money. The females, they will go and give them sex for marks and all of that. That's where it starts from. How are we different? How are we different from the people that we are quarreling against? Do you have the moral justification? to go out and tell Buhari, you can't do whatever you're doing, you must first check yourself. You know, so the protest I will support, is for the youths to be the light in the dark world that we have today. Let us just be the light. That's all we need to do. That's the only process we need. There is darkness, please shine your light. In your family, there's darkness, shine your light. In your business, in your office, there's darkness, shine your light. In your school, there is darkness, shine your light. By the time we have pockets of bulbs, you know, being lit up everywhere, in the schools, in the churches, in the mosque, in the markets, anywhere we find ourselves, you will see that darkness will disappear. That's what the Bible means by light will shine in darkness, and darkness cannot comprehend it. You don't even need much light. Let this room, stay inside a 500 square meter room, and you have the touch of a dark room, and then you have the touch of your phone put on. The darkness in that room will disappear.
Wow.
And then let's say we have another person. Then we have about 10 people coming in with their torchlights, torchlights. The whole place will be lit up, and the darkness will completely disappear. So please, what I will say to the youth is, shine your light wherever you find yourself. Darkness will automatically disappear. That is the only protest we need right now.
Wow, thank you very much. Wow, that was a long one, Mr. Mem. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We've lost Prince 7. Mr. Goswill is offline currently. But we'll just keep proceeding straight away because we have limited time. Mr. Mem, when we come back after this short break, we're going to round up. But before we go on the short break, please let us have your location and phone contact. Location and phone contacts. We're still giving away free data. And for those that have also received their free data, please acknowledge so that we have records of how many people receiving their free data. For those that have received, please all acknowledge. Let's know the number of persons so that we know those that are actually receiving their free data. Thank you very much. It's a great honor, Mr. MM. Thank you very much. At times it baffles me. Whenever I think, like now you've spoken from the angle of, an entrepreneur, a businessman, and you've said a whole lot. Before Prince 7 went offline, he also said a whole lot, from the angle of he's also a businessman or also a politician. Now, there are similarities in your thought. Now, the question is, what are the right values, the right character that one should, display that would elevate or take you to a position where you don't have to depend either on government or people, Okay, now, for instance, like you used 3 years to make a turnover of over R1 billion in your company. Now, that's amazing. Of course, a lot of young persons will think you just woke up, and you were able to build such impact. Now, United Nations recognizes your company. United Nations recognizes your company. Other organizations recognize your company. I think United Nations is one of your biggest clients. On the last session we had, I think that's what you said. One of your biggest.
Yeah, that's
clients,
correct.
right?
That's correct.
United Nations. Now, I can imagine what it means for a young man like you. Within 3 years, of building your company realized over R1 billion, and you're not involved in corruption. You're not involved in any ill traits. I'm sure that there's a certain pedigree that is attached to the character that kept you, and you were able to build that company from zero capital. Am I right?
Absolutely zero.
From zero capital within 3 years, over R1 billion. Come on. So, what do you think? Lad, a lot of young leaders are here on this platform listening right now, and they're pondering and asking, okay, what is that character that would molded you? What is that good character? that kept you, that, got in the connection for you to be able, within 3 years, from zero capital to over a turnover of ₦1 billion, and you're not involved in corruption, you're not involved in any legal, you know, backings, or whatsoever. What are those character of yours that we can also learn from that kept you, to where you are today? How do you
Okay.
describe the character? How do you, once, something kept you, there were certain things, a certain degree of character, a kind of character they saw, different people saw in you. For United Nations to come after you, of course, they saw certain level of probably integrity, but something, they noticed something, what is the right frame or the right character that can shape, other young people currently on the platform to be able to get to such level?
Yeah, thank you, Tito. It's very tough. Honestly, I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say, oh, na God, or oh, it's the grace of God, or all of that. Because even God Himself in the Bible tells us that in Romans chapter 5, to be precise. If you may permit me to just read it, okay? Romans
Okay.
chapter 5, verse, I'll just cut it short and start to read from verse 3. Okay, it says, we can rejoice too when we run into problems and trials, for we know that they help us develop endurance. And endurance develops strength of character. And character strengthens our confident hope of salvation. And this hope will not lead to disappointment, for we know how dearly God loves us, because He has given us the Holy Spirit to fill our hearts with His love. Okay, last week I made mention of love being the greatest tool, because, like I said, God is love. And we can sum up the whole characteristics of God in one word, love, because that is what God is made of. God is made of love. So the content of God's character is love. Now, from the passage I just read, it tells us that we're going to have trials and problems and all of that. And yes, in a society like Nigeria, it's not very hard for you not to come by trials and temptations of, soiling your hands, or being corrupt, or, being engaged in one illegal activity or the other. Because that's the order of the day in Nigeria. But when you have character starting from love, love for God, and then you translate this love to humanity, because even Christ says you can't say you love me when you can't love your fellow human being you're seeing with your eyes. You can't say you love God and then you can't love your neighbor. It's not possible. So it starts from you loving your neighbor. Do we love ourselves well enough? You can say today in Nigeria, life means nothing. Nobody adds value to life. Somebody will die, you go out, Boko Haram can kill you, police can kill you, anything, all of this stuff. Life means nothing to anybody. We are gradually losing value for life. We don't have love. So translating this to the business world today, you will get involved in transactions where your character will be tested. Just like I read in the Bible. They said it's not about if, it is promised that you will be tested. You will go through trials, you will go through problems, you will be tested. Your character will be tested, especially in Nigeria. You will not move from point A to point B without being tested. What happens in that situation? Okay, I'll give you a typical example. There was a time I did a transaction for World Health Organization. We were supposed to send them some products, sell them some products, and detergents, to be precise. Then I placed an order. There's a young guy I work with. I have different people I work with in different states, and all of that. And this guy used to work for this company, as a sales representative. I didn't know this company was going through troubles and all of that. So I just called the guy as usual. I said, "Oh, guy, please organize me X number of cartons of detergent, to XYZ states." So the guy said, "Okay, fine." He organized it. Unknown to me that this guy was giving out sold to us expired detergents. Now, this guy sends these expired detergents to World Health Organization. And we started receiving calls from different states. And we're talking about at least slightly over 3 million was involved in this transaction, about 3.6 million to be precise, was involved in this transaction. So we started having calls, from different parts of about 3 states saying, "Oh, you guys sold us expired products." That in itself is a dent to my company. And I thought to myself, what do I do? I had the chance, or I could just put a call to the state and say, "Please accept it, don't escalate this, and maybe sort it out with money or something." But you know what I did in that case? I had to reorder new products, again, worth the same amount of money, just to maintain my integrity. One of the states, for instance, Borno, they had even offered me, they told my staff that we shouldn't bother. We should just give them money and they will, they will close, they will just say that we've supplied. I said, no, we're not going to take that route. We have to. We lost 3.something million in that transaction, but I had to do it. Do you know what happened thereafter? About 2 months after, WHO sent us a mail. That mail, I had to frame it and I put it, it's in my office now. I frame it and I put it, thanking us for who we are, for how we've supported their program, for the kind of vendor that we are, how outstanding we are. They were rendering so much praises on us and telling us that they're looking forward to doing more business with us. Then you think now, at this point in my business life, somebody else will come and tell me that character, integrity doesn't work in business. You can't convince me otherwise. That's just one example. I've had situations where people, in fact, right now I'm in court with an organization where they changed the leadership of that organization, and some people had interest and they tried to truncate my project. I had to take them to court. I could have as well called them by the backside and said, "Okay, oh, you can negotiate these, or this is what I'm going to give to you at the end of this project," and all of that. But I'm not going to do it. I have to go through the long route. We're in court right now, and I'm very, very hopeful. Just like it was, I read in Romans chapter 5, my hope will never put me to shame. Wow. So I find out that why, today in Nigeria, why people easily get swayed and do otherwise is because they think that integrity, honesty is a longer route. But I tell you what, it might seem a long route, but it's a more stable route.
Wow.
There are some guys I started business together with. They were supposed to be my first business partners. The first transaction we did, I gave them about 3 or 5 million naira. These guys almost messed up the project. And then I had to take them to police. I was able to recover some of those monies from them. I think I still lost about is it 800 or so thousand naira at the end of the whole police case and all and all of that stuff. But today, I'm not trying to compare. I don't like comparing myself with people, but I can tell you today that where I am in life, those guys are nowhere near where I am right now in my business life today. So you don't look at the fast lane where you're so used to the fast lane in Nigeria. Please, every youth that cares to listen, you've seen people use the fast lane and it looks like they are successful. But can you keep on putting a tap on them to see when they're going to fail? Because I can tell you that they are going to fail at some point. I know a lot of politicians who got into government, stole money, and they're no longer in office 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and they become very broke. You can't believe it, that person was a senator, that person was a House of Rep member, that person was a honorary member, 2, 3 years ago. Because they are not rooted. They don't have the right foundation. But character helps you build the right foundation so that when the storms of life comes, because definitely the storms of life are going to hit you, it's your character that will make you stand out, that will propel you, that will push you, that will make you resilient to the storms.
Wow. Wow, Mr. Mem, thank you so much. Thank you so much. For everybody listening to us, for everybody watching, wherever you're listening from, it's amazing to know that character plays an important role in your life. It plays a major role in starting out, standing firm, the character you're being made of, the character you possess, the character you imbibe plays a major role. Now, you agree with me that at some level, what was able to, shape Mr. Mem's character, it's more of a spiritual thing. Why? Because he read from the scriptures, to also let us know that he believes in the principles in the scripture. So if peradventure you're finding the right character, it's all there in the scripture. Because what the scripture does, what the Bible does, is going to shape and direct and guide you to the right character. Most people don't know the character to emulate. So whatever they find along the way, they learn and imbibe, they swim in it. But the truth still stands. The right character would definitely make you stand out. Okay, so Mr. Mem, we've spent over an hour currently, and thank you so much, because in the course of the long session, in the course of talking to you, we've mapped out several strategies. We've learned so much, and it's been understood that character plays a major role in whatever we do. Character is very important. Character defines us. Why? Because we, as a whole, our lifestyle is a message to others. Just the same way you've been influential to a lot of people, and you've had a lot of people look up to you. Um, Prince Goswell is back. I think you just joined us for the summary. We thank you so much. We really appreciate. We appreciate this. Hello, is that are you there?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm listening.
Okay, yes, we really appreciate this, because we're already getting some comments. Of course, a lot of people would love to know you better. They would love to probably associate and all of that. Which, of course, we know we'll be having you more of you, talking to us on this platform, and also encouraging us to live the right kind of life. Are you there?
Yeah, Tito, I'm with you. I'm always available.
Okay.
Trust me. I love
Prince Seven is
talking to more people about this.
And it's a good thing, really. It's really, really, really a good thing. It's so unfortunate we can't get Prince
Hello.
back.
Yeah, I'm with you. Sorry,
okay.
my apologies. It's kind of raining. I'm in Calabar. It's raining where I am, and disrupted the network. But I'm glad to be back.
Wow. Okay, Prince Seven, we're actually about running up.
Okay.
Emma said a whole lot concerning character, and he has pointed it out. And it's straight and defined, and also known to every one of us, and also people on the platform currently, that character plays a major role in a man's life. Both female and male character plays a major role. Now, most young people don't care about their character, the character they display, and what they display. So I really appreciate both of you for the time, for taking out time to dig into character. And of course, in a way, we know that character character is what has kept, both of you in a limelight, to also be a light, to others, to a lot of people, to generations. Um, we'll take one question from David Ntino. Please, David Ntino, post your question so that I can reflect to our viewers to see. Just post the question so that it will reflect on the screen, so that we can take this question and round up for the day. Now, most people, before you came in, we're talking about having the right character, or how to, find the right character. Mr. Mem, turned us to one or two scriptures. And now it shows that spirituality also plays a major role in terms of shaping our character. Are we together?
Yeah.
Are we together? Because a lot of young people believe, because a motivational speaker or whoever will tell you, believe in yourself. So they believe in themselves to an extent where their character is less important. They believe that, oh, whatever character I display, as long as this is what I want, I can always, grab it. But asking the question of how do we know or find the right character or build the right character within us, the right character that will lead us, not just leading us, that will also make us a light to generations. Now, that was one of the things I was swindling on. So I think, I don't know if you have anything to say to that, but basically, I would love to use that, after what I've said, to encourage young people to also check inward themselves. What I mean inward, their spiritual background, because it's essential. I realized something, that both of you are committed spiritually. Prince Seven is who he is today because it's not just about his outward appearance. He's committed spiritually, and somehow I believe that that spiritual commitment helps to shape the character that you display. Likewise, Mr. Memebo. So, before we take a summary, Prince, before you take a summary and probably your advice to young people, I would like you to respond to David Tino. The question is on your screen. He said, in Nigeria, how can the youth with the right characters, the question is on the screen, rise up to leadership position without a godfather in politics? Can you see the question on your screen?
I've seen it. I think I want to appreciate my brother for his contributions, and also in regards to spirituality. And what every one of us must understand is that faith is a strong attribute. And our faith in God and our faith in ourselves and the faith we have for society is very important. And that's what makes you different from others. And in the context of Nigeria today, just to answer David's point, yeah, the youth with the character can rise up to leadership position if they first of all understand their purpose. You cannot know your purpose without being patient. You cannot know your purpose without having faith in God and your God and people. And then your purpose helps you. Our consistency. I'm not someone. My political future is not driven by paternalism. First of all, driven by the love I have, my zeal, passion to make a difference. When I left foreign affairs to go into politics, self-centeredness, but I had to center my passion on. I believe that there was need for leadership. I believe that the deficient problem of society that I found myself in Nigeria and Africa was bad leadership. And nobody goes into leadership by wanting to contribute their quota to contribute leadership. or nation building without understanding the crisis and the issues that have hindered others who have been there before me. So I had to know my purpose, why I felt that it's important to be part of the political architecture of this great country. And I'm not giving up. It's not about today. It's not about what I stand to benefit. It's about the mark I want to make. So when you make up your mind, and decide your purpose, and that your purpose must create a mark, and that society is dependent on that decision to make a difference. You will not give up, whether you're ready or not. You will not give up, whether people applaud you or not. You remain steadfast because you know that the destiny of a lot of young people and the society you belong to is based on that decision you've taken. So selflessness, and I don't think Godfather, a time will come when Godfatherism will have no impact in society. And me and you must pay that price. By being steadfast in our decisions. Yes, major deficiency to our democracy. I know that. Depend on Godfatherism means that you must have to kiss. You must have to kiss some certain asks, some word that you don't need, and then it means that you must depend on characteristics define of this nation. So your character as a Nigerian youth can position you in leadership and politics without Godfatherism if you understand what character is and know that determination is a key factor, and you won't give up. You will not sell your birthright. It's not about your person. It's about what is that contribution that your character helps you give to the polity of our nation or society might be a bedrock to help eradicate those negative vices that have kept on building negative leadership over time. So you could be that person that will stand as a force to grow new minds of leaders. So, but if you don't have character, you think about selfishness. You will not want to push till the end. You think about your personal interest. But character will keep you to know that the decisions you make today is not about you. It's about what other generations will leverage on to be able to propel the future that we all desire. Thank you. God bless you all.
Wow. Yeah, Mr. Mem, what would you have to say in terms of summary? What would you have to add to that? Our time is fast gone. And what will also be your advice?
Yeah, I always tell people, I think this is very key. This sentence I'm going to make, or phrase I'm going to make, should be taken very seriously.
Are you there, Mr. Mem?
Can you hear me? Yeah, I think the only currency that you need to transact with on the street is integrity.
Wow.
That currency is going to earn you more returns than financial investment. It's going to earn you goodwill. It's going to earn you favor. And it's going to cause people to stand up for you and mention your name where you are not available. You make people mention your name in rooms of people that matter. Now, talking about Godfatherism, I wouldn't say I believe in mentorship, to an extent. But for me, in mentorship, for you to be a mentee, or understudy a particular politician or a businessman or an elderly person who's doing well, who you feel is successful, and then and you're looking up to them. I feel you shouldn't take everything hook, line, and sinker. Just like Prince said, you should be able to first define your purpose. Okay? It's from the definition of your purpose that you will know which mentor to even choose in the first place, because you will know which mentor is already aligned to your purpose, who is already doing what you're dreaming to do. Okay? Just as no human being is perfect, your mentor will have flaws, will make mistakes, will take wrong decisions at some point, will face challenges in their business, in their political career, or in their, in their career path. What are you there to do as a mentee? You learn. You can contribute, by telling them what you feel they should do. Or you can, for the ones that they handle properly, you can ask them for the steps, or you study carefully what steps they took to get to where they are, or how they handle that situation. Okay? But the fundamental thing is you must know your purpose, and you must build the content of your character. You must have values. You must have your own vision and your mission statement in life. Those are the things that will guide you to know who you subject yourself to be mentored. That's when you will know when your mentor is doing something wrong and needs to be done otherwise for it to be done the right way. So as a take home, the characters that we need, because there are good characters and there are bad characters. I will encourage everyone on this platform to emulate and build as much as they can good character. And I will always close by saying a good character starts with love. Okay? The character of God is love. That's the only way that's the best way God was defined in the Bible. God is love. It was a very simple 3-word definition. God is love. And whoever says he is in God must live in love. And like I said the last time, love covers a multitude of sin. When you have love, you will not do something that will hurt your neighbor. You will not do something that will hurt your country. You will not do something that will hurt your subordinates. You will not do something that will hurt your business. You will not do something that will hurt your family members and all of that. So if you try every of your action or every of your move with love as your benchmark, I'm sure at the end of the day, you'll be displaying more of love and goodwill and compassion, in the words of Prince, in most of the things that you're doing. And that's how you become attractive. Nobody loves hate. Everybody loves love. Everybody will be attracted by love. So if you go around displaying love, you will attract a lot of people. The friends you're looking for on the internet, on social media, you will get real friends in real life when you're displaying love everywhere you go. Forget about that fake thing that they do on the internet. You will get real people with real love, with real favor, with the real grace of God upon your life. And that will open every form of door for you in life. Whether you want to go into politics, whether you want to go for anything, in any endeavor you're doing, whether you want to be a career person, you want to be a business person, you want to be anything you're into, love will always open that door for you, because it will give you goodwill before people.
Wow, thank you very much, Mr. Merabong. Thank you so much, Prince Seven. It's been a great time. And Mr. Devintino, I'm sure you've gotten an answer to your statement. You said the Nigerian system does not give room to new and reformed individuals to lead. This has become a norm. The few people with the right characters are not given an opportunity to lead. Now, if we had listened to what the speakers, our coaches, our GML advocates had said, you get to understand that yes, there may be more bad examples, but the solution starts from you yourself and what you put out. So by the time you keep doing what you're doing, others are keep doing their good, others are, we multiply gradually. Mr. Memdi said something earlier. There's no shortcut. Yes. Now we talked about the protest too. Now the protest was run without a proper, strategy, on how to reform or bring about reformation of what we wanted. Now we expected that, oh, okay, once we stand out and make noise, everything will end. Are we together? Now, it wasn't just about that. So the solution starts, I mean, I stand to be corrected, but I believe from what you've said, from what both of you have said, I was able to carve out that the solution, to what we want boils to our character. And if it boils to our character, having the right character, still lies within ourselves. So it starts from we, the individuals, we, the young people, we, the youth. So the transformation we want in Nigeria starts from us. Despite the fact that, okay, those in power may not give us the room, of course, you keep doing what you're doing, you keep believing in what you're doing, you keep expanding with the love at heart, compassion, just like Mr. Mem did mention, that love was what defined, Jesus' character, the character, Jesus was being made of. So if you don't have a character that revolves or that is, enclosed with love as the ultimate, then there's bound to be, challenges. Now, of course, it won't be that easy to just break a bad system, but it takes, process. And by the time you add one person, one good character, plus another good character, one of the challenges I see in Nigeria, people run away and some people shy away from the truth. I think that's one of the challenges. But
Tito, let me give this guy a typical life example. Okay,
please,
because I think he talks in that question is in a broader perspective, but I want to bring it to myself. Okay. I was working in an organization who did contracts for government, and almost I can say maybe 90%, of the contracts gotten by that organization was always through a corrupt process. Okay. Now, I didn't like that. And yeah, I contributed my quota, and I used to kick against, the practices there and all of that stuff. But then I had
Amen.
Yeah, okay. Can you guys hear me now?
Okay, yeah, very well.
Okay, so I was saying, we had this, so we had every form of, vices going on there, in getting things done and all of that. No one is going to come and give you a chance to display whatever thing you call good character in their organization or in their space. What did I do? I pulled out. I started my own, and I did what I feel was the right thing. Today, comparatively, which I really don't like doing, I don't think there's any of my colleagues that was sitting on the management team of that organization with me can compare themselves with me.
Wow.
Sometimes it looks difficult.
Okay.
But you have to, like I said, first things, you must know your purpose, get your values, stand by them. We read in Romans chapter 5, you will face problems, you will face challenges, but your character will find you out. He'll make you outstanding. Last week, I said something about gold. Before gold become gold, it's taken from the earth, and it goes through a very high temperature. It goes through a fire process. That at the end of the day, it becomes an ornament that most of us even worship. So it's not going to be easy. Nobody's going to come out. Even God, the devil, at some point, did not want him to rule on the earth. God has to send his son. Exactly. So you can't just have things being easy for you. Even God doesn't have it easy. Even God did not have it easy. The creator of the world, he created the thing, and then the things that he created are now standing against him. Then you haven't created anything. You think nobody, then you think you just have to want to have it easy. It's not going to be easy for you, man.
Wow. Mr. David Ntino, Mr. Mema said it all. Your question was not really about mentorship, but about having the opportunity. Now, opportunity, like from what he's saying, looking from his angle and perspective, may not be that easy. But he said
you create it, but you have to create your own opportunity.
I'm sure you've heard that. You create your opportunity. Now, hanging on and waiting for the opportunity to lead, without hindrance is you depending on the system, depending on people. But if you're able to pull out, mold and create and design your own system, either they will look for you or you'll bypass them without them having to block you. Now, I'm carving that from, his explanation and his experience, that he had to leave a board to push on his own system. And now, the level he is, they can't match up. They come
to me. The same people, sometimes they come to me to give me projects to do for them.
And this MM is saying there's not just, MM is not just here to speak like a motivator. He's not even a motivational speaker, really. But he's an experiential entrepreneur. When I introduced him earlier, I told you within 3 years, he was able to build his company within 3 years, realizing a turnover of over R1 billion. You know what it means? Within 3 years, your company can canvas, bid for jobs, what hundreds of millions, and all of that. So before he could get to this level, obviously he has had his own share of experience. So if he's saying that it's not going to be easy to break through without hindrance, that the best solution is to create your own path. It may look like a long road, just like what he said earlier. It may look difficult, it may look like a long road, a long process, but it will bear fruit. Now, within 3 years, he made over $1 billion. Does not mean he didn't gather experience before those 3 years. I remember him telling me, sharing his experience. Yeah, he shared his experience, on our last session, that, for over 10 years before he started the company, the experience he has had with various bodies, with various persons, with mentors, and all of that, the lessons he accumulated. He's a young man like every one of us, He's a young man like every one of us. He has traveled around the world, doing business with the likes of World Health Organization, and co. So he is saying this from experience. So thank you, Mr. David Ntino. I'm sure you'll grab the point. Okay, create my own opportunity, valid point. Thank you for recognizing that. Okay, so for today, because we've taken so much time, we've spent close to 2 hours. This was meant to be an hour session. We have people joining from different places all over. Today, we're able to stream live on Facebook. So it's live on Facebook, it's live on YouTube. I don't know what happened from the technical side. It's not live on Instagram, but it was meant to be live on Instagram. So we've seen viewers viewing and connecting. And the last session we had wasn't that, sorry, our last session, our first edition of this wasn't this organized, but when I later went to check, the views was magnificent. People, getting on the platform to view from different places in the world, and going through it. So I really appreciate this time, Mr. MM. There are certain things I'm going to share with you that was shared, to me through the platform on this. It's been a very great honor. We appreciate you. We appreciate you for your time. We also appreciate you for supporting this cause of doing good, and also bringing out what you learned from your past experiences for others to also learn, from. You're a young man with an amazing family, a beautiful daughter, and a wonderful wife, and yeah, it's a dream of almost every man. I'm sure David Tino is hearing this. So thank you very much once more. Thank you for the time. Thank you for finding your time to join us. Next week is going to be another interesting session. And before then, within the week, I'm sure we're going to be getting more remarks. And we'll be updating the remarks, which was something we failed to do from the last system because of the limitations we had. But thank God we now have an open room where we can also make the remarks online. Online. Thank you very much for this great time. There will be a rebroadcast of this tomorrow morning. There will be a rebroadcast on this for tomorrow morning. And of course, it's not going to be live, but we're going to have, of course, more viewers who would, bump in to make more comments, their observation and their experience, and also what they've learned. So, in the absence of further questions, I think we'll call it a day from this. We really appreciate this moment. We thank everyone that has joined us, and for all those that have received our free token. This is courtesy of our partner, even though he doesn't like, he doesn't want this to be pronounced, but I feel it's an honor for us to also know that the company sponsoring this, even though we're meant to run the advert on the screen, but it wasn't because actually the MD of the company didn't want it. But it's an honor to us to say this now that Mr. Mem, the company is one of the sponsors of this. Thank you very much. I know he likes, doing the good from the back end, but we just have to, appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much for the good hearts. Okay, Mr. Devintino says he wants your social handles that he needs to follow.
Oh, no, I'm not a social media person. You can oblige him my number, but I won't. I'm not very active on social media.
Okay, no problem. So for anybody who needs, of course, Mr. Mem is open to counsel and to guide anybody who wants, proper direction in different areas, from him. So thank you very much, Mr. Mem. We'll be signing
Tito,
out.
You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. I pray for more grace, because it's not easy.
No, there is no end to this. This is just the beginning. I mean, we're going to do more by God's grace, and that's why we really appreciate your courage, because it takes a lot of courage. Next week is going to be another exciting edition, because this time around we're going to have some prominent ladies, alongside, and we'll have a key topic which we're going to look into. So thank you very much, sir. As we sign out.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Do have a great day, and please extend our love to the family.
All right. Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much. Bye for now.
All right.
Okay. I think we still have few people left online. I want to appreciate you all for spending this time hanging out with us, hanging on with us till this very hour. We promise this is going to be more be rated out to you. Okay, I'm having a bit. Hello. Hello. Okay, Mr. Memi has signed out. Okay, I appreciate you. David Tino, thank you for hanging on till the last hour. We thank you, every other person that have been online up to this point. Um, it's going to be more and more exciting every day. Uh, for the data that was being sent, of course, there are a lot of people who didn't notify, but all the same, congratulations for your free data. I'm getting more notifications. Then there are certain comments that are coming to me directly, which are not displaying on the screen. I think by next week, we'll be able to make every comment viewable. And please don't forget, you can hook up with us, not just on YouTube, on Facebook Live, on Instagram. Next week, we're going to have very interesting people who are going to take us through, a journey. People that we're also going to learn from. One of them is going to be hooking up with us from the US, from US, yeah. So keep a date with us. Please, we want your remarks. What do you think about this? What are the lessons you've learned so far? Please, your comments, your remarks is important to us. Thank you very much, everybody, and do have an amazing and pleasant evening. Bye for now. Okay.